Hi everybody at YouTube. I just wanted to introduce myself. I should have done that right at the start. I'm Kathy McBride. I'm a psychic medium, ghost investigator, and also a past life facilitator. So just a little bit about me. I run Ghost Connection. I have been ghost investigating for over 20 years. I have lived in haunted building, well, haunted house and a haunted flat, and I've been in many haunted buildings and flats and venues over the last 20 years, even longer. My gift, I was born with it, just always could see spirits. I didn't realise they were spirits at the time. I just thought they were my friends. I thought everybody could see what I saw. So never made a big fuss about it. Never sort of pointed it out to people. Not even to my parents really much, apart from the fact they knew I talked to my imaginary friends was what they put it down to. So bit of a strange child, to put it nicely. Even at kindergarten, at the age of 3.5, I would play at the back of the kindergarten, and no other kid did. They liked to play out the front. That was probably when the first time I came across my first bad spirit, who convinced me to roll down the steps of a very large slide, which probably wouldn't be allowed by OSH these days. Which I did. I did roll down the steps. He convinced me that rolling down the steps of that slide, and they were like that. I did it once, decided, he tried to convince me to do it again. I wasn't hurt. I don't know why I wasn't hurt. It did take the wind out of me. And I did it again. After that, I just decided that I didn't like that person, and just didn't talk to him after that. My first reading was when I was at primary school. I had a problem with a bully there who seemed to enjoy trying to beat me up. So my friends, my imaginary friends, they just told me to, give her a list, ask her to make a list of things that she would like. And out of the list of 10 things, I went through, and they said to me, well, tell her she'll get a puppy and she'll get a goldfish, a live goldfish. So by later on that afternoon, her and her cronies, our school was like in the middle, like in an island of busy streets. That day, her and her cronies found a live, quite a good sized goldfish in the gutter, damp gutter. It'd been raining, and it was alive. They put it into an ice cream container with the water, and they were allowed to, I'm 56, okay, so in these days they were allowed to go around and go to people's houses and knock on doors. So they were able to cross the road to houses, and went right around all the houses, and they found out that it came from a outdoor pond. She'd been cleaning her pond, and the fish had come from across the road, up steps. This is no lies. And yeah, and the lady had her goldfish back. So that was really cool. Her parents, she was an only child, her parents surprised her the very next day with a puppy. So yeah, it stopped the bullying for a while. Everybody thought I was weird, so they just kept away from me. Mind you, they thought I was weird for quite a while before that, but I was doubly weird then. So yeah, it gave me sort of like about 6 months grace of being bullied for a while. So that was great. I didn't really like to play with other kids that much anyway. I preferred my friends. So life went on, left school early, which a lot of spiritual gifted people do. Had a lot of trouble with more the teachers than anything else. I got bored in class, and had a lot of trouble just with teachers. Doesn't mean I was dumb. I wasn't dumb. I was very smart in my classes, but just didn't see eye to eye with the teachers. Anyway, so left at 15, and yeah, it wasn't until I had a bit of a bumpy ride in my life. So like most of us spiritually gifted people, we do. I know a lot of people go, well, why did you have such a bumpy ride? Didn't you sort of see the future, whatever? Yeah, our guides, well, for me, guides are people you've been with in past lives, and they agree with you before you come down, that they're going to help guide you. And yeah, they do tell you, you know, they give you the warning. It's like that gut feeling, or that voice in your head that goes, don't go down that road. And you still do, because you're young and stupid, or you're just stupid and you just want to go down the road. Okay, so yeah, well, I like to go down that road about a few thousand times to see if I get the same result. So yeah, it wasn't probably, I mean, I lived in a couple haunted houses. One I like to nickname the Blair Witch Project. It was terrifying. Nearly killed me. Actually nearly killed me. A lot of this is written in my book. I don't have any actual physical copies anymore. I only sell it on through email. I'm not very good with internet stuff and, you know, all the tech stuff. We've got a tech guy on board now. He helps. Anyway, so it wasn't until after my second husband, towards the end of my second marriage, that I started going to a spiritualist church, and my invisible friends were sort of getting more and more pushy, and I was seeing so much more. And they sort of, I sort of felt like, I met my third husband there, by the way. That was a mistake. Wow. And yes, they gave me lots of warnings. Anyway, so my guides, they wanted me to start doing readings, and they just said, I had no training, they just said, you just got to listen and just tell them whatever you hear. So I started doing readings. Then they said, oh, you got to start teaching people how to use their gifts. Again, no training. I remember sitting down, I had rented a hall, I had put the advertising in the newspaper, because you did advertising in the newspaper those days, and I remember writing the booklet for it like about 2 days beforehand, and I just went in and taught. But I used their guides to help me teach them, because I worked out really quickly that everybody's different and everybody needs to learn differently. And that is what my guides taught me. Not everybody's the same. So that's why I even teach to this day. I have 2 groups. And when we go to do their monthly groups, and when we go to teach, I teach, everybody's guides come to me prior to that group, and they tell me what subject we're going to teach that night. And on that night, everybody's guides do it in a way that everybody can sort of like grasp what we're learning. And there's openings for everybody to be able to learn differently. So that's what I've found in teaching for over 20 years now. Anyway, so so my life, yeah, went a wee bit, you know, different ways. When I lived on a gypsy fair, travelled around for about 18 months around New Zealand. Oh yeah, I lived in America for a while, before I got, that was before my second marriage. Anyway, so travelled around New Zealand and started doing shows then all over New Zealand. That was great, that was wonderful. But then I found that I didn't want to bring up people's personal stuff in front of their whole towns. So I sort of came backwards and decided not to do that. I did ghost hunts in a lot of places around New Zealand with different people. Then I lived up north for a little while in Eketahuna. It's a lovely little town. And the most ghost hunts we did with my group there that I had at the time was like, I think we did like about 7 ghost hunts to about 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning in 10 days. That was crazy. I'm still trying to find some of the DVDs that we made of those ones, because some of them have got some amazing stuff on them. It's just a matter of trying to find where I put them, because I've had a few shifts since then. Okay, so anyway, another marriage down. Woohoo! Sounds great. I'm very open, by the way. Very normal. Quite scientific in my views, by the way. I don't just get into all the hairy-fairy stuff of this. Always looking to debunk. Always say it should stay a skeptic until proven otherwise. So, why ghost hunting or ghost investigation? And why there are thousands of ghost investigation groups. We, I like to think, are a bit different. My ghost investigation group been going for a few years. We've had some people come in and leave, and come in and leave, and we've changed it around a bit. My ghost investigation group are made up mainly of psychic mediums or people in training to be psychic mediums, or in training just to develop themselves in their gifts. They're mainly people from my groups, development groups. That's just my husband bringing in my coffee, not wanting to go on camera. Fourth husband, and keeping him. Yeah, and the guy said yes. Okay. Yeah, and we have now got some people that are just investigators. So some of our group that do come out with us, I've always taught my people in my group to always look to debunk till you can be proven that it's definitely not just something natural or something like car lights or whatever. Orbs are a very, very touchy subject with a lot of people. I always say, if you go into a dusty house, then 9 times out of 10 it's going to be dust. If you go outside and it's raining, it's going to be rain. If you go outside and there's a heap of insects, it's most likely going to be insects. If 2 of you capture on camera an orb, both the same orb, and you both capture it moving in the same directions and you're able to follow it, that most likely is a spirit orb. So people who've gone over to the other side, or people that are earthbound, meaning they haven't gone to the other side, can visualize themselves into orbs before they maybe are trying to come through as what they are. There can be an in-between stage, or that may be their only energy that they've got to come through as. A spirit orb is quite different to me than a dust orb or an insect orb or a sunlight or a moonlight or a light orb or any of those. I know a lot of people want to believe that all orbs are spirit orbs. They're not. So yeah, could get into that forever. But yeah, it has to, for me, I see spirits. So if I'm looking at a spirit and it's not coinciding with that orb, then that's not a person. That's just a dust orb or an insect. Okay, so why do I do ghost investigations? The reason why we do investigations is, the main reasons are, number one, I would like to bring through proof to the general people that there is life after death. Not so people will think, oh well, it's no, I don't like life here and I want to go over, because it doesn't work that way. So sorry, burst that bubble. When it's your time, it's your time. You can't go before or whenever. And so I do want to, you know, be able to bring through some proof. And I have got some marvellous ghost photos. Not orbs, just ghost photos. I have got some great spirit orbs photos, but I have got ghost photos that can't be mistaken. I even have one of my guides as a photo. Elizabeth, she came to a party I was at. She even came to one of my shows and talked to other people, and then sat in the front row, and that show will happen to be videoed. I'm sorry I don't have the video now. This is a long time ago. But I still have in contact with the people who were witnesses and actually spoke to her. And later on, when they were watching the recording the next few days later, they couldn't understand why there was a space in the front row where she was sitting. She wasn't there. That's because she was a spirit. Anyway, so sorry I go off. Rambler. So yeah, number one is to prove the point that there is spirits out there. There is life after death. Number two is to also help people that have bad spirits or entities, or God forbid demonic entities with them or in their homes, to remove them. Number three is to help spirits pass on that are stuck. Again, also to pass on those ones that aren't supposed to be here, the bad ones. I see a lot of, I love watching ghost hunt shows. We all do. Some of them are hilariously funny and some are wonderful. I have my favourites. My biggest problem with a lot of them is they come in contact with a lot of the spirits, and the spirits ask for help and they don't help them. So this is where I think a spirit medium or a psychic medium can be really helpful, because we can pass them on, and we like to get the people who are watching involved if we can, to help us. The more energy we get to help them, the better. We also try and tell you how to protect yourselves before you go watch our lives, and how to cleanse yourself after the lives. Right now, because we don't have enough subscribers right now, we're just doing the videos. So if you're watching any of our videos right now, I suggest you put yourself in a white light bubble, or ask, if you believe in God or Jesus, you can ask them to put protection around you. If you want to ask your guides, your guardian angels, or your archangels, or anything that you believe in, we respect, apart from if it's a negative spirit. It's not helpful. Ask them to put you in a white light of protection bubble before you start watching. Even if you don't feel it or see it, it will happen if you ask. Okay? After the video, please go and put your hands under cold water and then just flick it on your face and on your head. Okay? And that then it means that you are cleansed. So we just like everybody to be extra safe. If there's any problems, please don't hesitate to contact us. We are also on Facebook under Ghost Connection NZ Paranormal Investigators, and we are also ran by JC on TikTok under Ghost Connection, and I think it's got some undercuts as well. We will get that address put on here as well, so you can also see us on TikTok, but unfortunately because they're so long they don't stay on the TikTok. But there is Ghost Connection NZ on Paranormal Investigators on Facebook as well, and you can you know, load up a message and we will see it and try and help you in any possible way. And if you don't believe in what we do, perfectly fine. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Now, we don't use a lot of equipment. One, we don't have thousands of dollars to buy a lot of equipment. Number two, we don't believe we need a lot of equipment, only because of the fact that a lot of the people from my group and myself, we see the spirits, or we sense them, or we feel them. The equipment a lot of times you'll see us use is the black box here with the blue light. So if it's gonna, now it's on. Can you please stop playing with, I'm in my office, and the unfortunate thing is sometimes the spirits in here play with my things. Come on. I picked one that was going to go. There we go. The blue lights go off. And this is just a sensor box. So usually about a metre and a half, if a spirit comes near it, it will go off. So if it goes off when we've asked a prominent question or a question, and it goes off to that question, we know it is a spirit. Usually some of us will see the spirit anyway. The other thing, we just have a basic EMF as well. So if that is not near a phone or a technical equipment and the green goes right up to red or starts flickering up, we know we're usually around the spirit, and it does work. Many a times I've had it near a spirit and it's just gone right off the scale. Okay, so it's just a very simple machine. They use them also in electrical, if they, and the electricians use them. I can also use like what we these used to sell them as pussy balls. And the little balls will light up if something moves them. So they're a bit harder to make them go off. We do have the SLS, which shows the skeleton if there's any spirits about. We just downloaded a program, but it will show a skeleton if one of us is standing there, or if a tree is standing there, or something human-like. It will show a skeleton on that. So So far I've found it to work really well. It has highlighted a skeleton where I have seen spirits. So far I'm quite happy with it. Some of our group have got the Spirit Talk app. Again, if it's saying something relevant to what we're asking, then we feel that that's working perfectly fine. We did have other ones that we felt weren't, it's like a library bank thing, that spirits can use some of the words. If we feel they're not giving us anything relevant, then we don't use them again. You know, we give them a few times, and if they're not giving us anything relevant, then we don't really use them. I'm trying to undo my pendulums. I just got Spirit to give me them back today. So I've got about 3 pendulums that I also use sometimes. They're very good at using them. I can see that it's wanting to tell me something right now. Probably happy I've got it unhooked. I've got about 3 of them, and some of the other groups got them. We also have the copper, sorry, I have a mind like a, we also have the copper, you know, what do you call them? The copper bar things. Sometimes we use those. They sometimes work. And we do have an EVP as well. We got a good response last night at the cemetery we were at. I asked the spirit, does he belong to the cemetery? And he came out with a no. I am going to try and download that little bit, asking our tech guy to try and get that little bit out of the EVP, which is electronic voice phenomena, and put it on here so you can hear, make up your own mind. But yeah, he said no. He did. It was an entity, part entity, part human. We are going to do a bit of a question answer thing with TikTok, Facebook, and you guys, allowing people to ask questions. Unfortunately, I'm still not live until I get enough subscribers. I need 50. So I hope that reassures some of you who we are. I'm still learning how to clean my YouTube up and maybe do a little bit of a thing on here so you can see a bit more about us. But yeah, we're from Ghost Connection. That's who we are, Ghost Connection New Zealand. We're very down to earth people. We will debunk. If nothing happens, nothing happens. Right now we're trying to do 2 ghost hunts a week. We are made up of a very interesting group of people. We have people with ADHD. We have people with Asperger's. I have, unfortunately, horrendous arthritis and injuries. So sometimes you'll see me on my mobility scooter, or trying to walk on crutches, and you'll see me sitting down a lot. If you see me on my mobility scooter, you'll see me taking off, because that's my idea of fun. If we hear a noise, we go towards it. We don't run. Okay. And it's so great to meet all of you. And oh, we have got some footage coming up from one of our group that's been over in America doing some ghost hunts. She's trying to get them cleaned up and tidied up a bit, and we'll be putting them on here. I'm hopefully planning a trip to Michigan next year around October to do some ghost hunting over there. Is also her and her mum, they're Wellington based. They're going to go out hopefully sometime in a couple of weeks to do one of the other big cemeteries, just her and her mum, and they will do the footage and get it put on here as well. So it's not always going to be me. There'll be other members of our group that will be doing footage, so you don't have to look at my ugly mug all the time. And we all have a great sense of humour, so because spirits do too. So these earthbounds are the ones that we generally are talking to. We're not disturbing any people, and generally people that are passed on do not hang out at their grave sites. If you go to visit your loved one at a grave site, they will probably pop down and just see, you know, and come and sit with you at their grave, but then they go back to the other side. So we don't disturb people at grave sites. We highly respect people from the other side. We're dealing with people that need help, or the ones that are more of the poltergeist sort of ones. And we don't fake anything. Okay, have a great day. Bye.